ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris, and this is Barn on 11970. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to what I have to say, and I am hopefully going to be some form of voice of reason for people out there. When it comes to what's going on in Charlotte, North Carolina, we need Americans, we need our fellow human beings to stop and think about the consequences of what you are doing. I have now seen videos where quote-unquote protesters are filming the burning of cardboard and other materials from their looting of trucks on the highway at North Carolina. There are people on an overpass filming it, and they are throwing rocks at the cars coming the other direction, causing accidents and damage, and possibly injuring. Do you know if there's children, babies in those cars? Ladies and gentlemen, this should be embarrassing even for our president to try and make this out like, oh, they're just peaceful protests. Throwing rocks at cars over an overpass, I don't care what color skin you have. You are an idiot. You are endangering the lives of fellow human beings. And they are cheering. They are looting. They are stealing. And I had an idiot troll make the most ridiculous, stupid statement saying, because I am not black, I do not understand. Have we lost the ability to have common sense? Do you have to have a master's degree to know that throwing rocks at oncoming cars is not a good thing to do? Stealing is not a justification for what's going on. Now, again, I don't live in North Carolina. I was not there to witness what happened between that 43-year-old man and that cop. My point is, stealing, destroying property, glorifying it like it's some kind of achievement is showing where this country and where the society as a whole is going. To cheer people throwing rocks off of a bridge, hitting oncoming traffic, what does that have to do with justification of what happened, right or wrong, with the person that got shot and killed? You are making a mockery of what happened, and you are turning it into something that says, look at me, instead of, let's fix the problem. And I don't want to hear one person come to me and say, oh, you're not of a different colored skin, so you don't know. It does not matter what color my skin is to know between right and wrong. If you want to peacefully protest, if you want to make an example of that policeman and have him fired or thrown in prison if he did something wrong, that is fine. But going and stealing from Walmarts, throwing rocks over the bridges and applauding the achievement, being excited when your rock hits a car and it goes skidding into the side. What if there is a bunch of babies in the back seat? Is this a proud moment for people? Whether this is a staged event or media taking advantage of the anger and frustration of the people does not matter. This is embarrassing. This is disgusting. And I mean, people are going to get what they deserve. That's the sad part. If you are perpetrating propaganda, if you are perpetrating hearsay, if you are basing things on what other people are saying instead of the actual facts and taking the time to investigate, you're part of the problem. And if you find out anything without verification, and you feel your way of justifying or venting your frustration is to hurt and steal and damage things from other people, and you get pleasure from that, and then try it and turn it into a race card, is embarrassing. And it is no wonder why people in this country and all around the world are so easily led. I am so frustrated by the level of stupidity of the people in North Carolina right now, or anywhere else where this goes on, to turn this into a race war, when from what they have said, it was a black cop shooting another black citizen. Now, whether that's true or not, Who knows? I wasn't there, and I'm sure you weren't there either, although you'll get many people now that will say, oh, I was there. Well, even if you were nearby, how do you know what was being done? Did you see the entire situation? Do you know what happens? Is it going to come to the point now, if there is anybody other than a white person shot, that now all of a sudden we're going to have riots in the street? And then does that justify that we could injure another person just because of the color of their skin or their sexual preference? Are we going and advancing ourselves as a society and as a species, or are we going backwards? President Obama should be ashamed of himself allowing these things to happen. And this is happening under his watch. And they all want to, the media, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, they want to talk about racists. They want to talk about lack of unity. Who is this happening under? This is happening under Barack Obama, or his real name, Barry Soetoro. You should look that up. I think it's Soretoro or Soetoro, something like that. Just look up Barry, then write SO, and it'll come up. Not even his real name, Barack Obama. But the point of the matter is, color of skin has nothing to do with right and wrong. And if you are going to have somebody murdered, whether it was justifyingly or unjustifiably, and you're going to promote violence and people destroying public property, what does stealing from a Walmart have to do with a either justifiable or unjustifiable situation that happened between the police and a quote-unquote citizen? Which, by the way, you should really buy a Black's Law dictionary and learn what the legal definition of the word citizen is, because if you actually learned what it means, you would never want to be called one. And Stack, let me see, Stack in AG47 says, people are ready to apologize before they even say anything. Black cop on black citizen happened more than white cop on black citizen. To me, it should not even matter, and you're right about that, but it shouldn't matter the color of the skin. If a criminal is doing something that a cop feels they have to, maybe their life is on the line, this should be a last resort. And here's the funny part. I've protested about like cops and everything with the Occupy Wall Street and everything. I'm on the side of the cops on this time, because they are getting rocks thrown at them. So basically what we're saying is, cops, they should not do anything now. So if somebody breaks into my home, I'm supposed to first worry about the color of their skin. Then I have to worry about the consequences if I actually defend myself, because I might be labeled a racist. Because heaven forbid the person that breaks into my house is of a different nationality of my own. Then if I actually defend myself, then somehow I'll be labeled a racist and have people riot against me. And then, God forbid, any cop is going to want to come and do anything, because if it's a different colored skin, or even if it's the same skin, people are going to riot. People better be careful what they wish for. It's embarrassing. It's sad. It's pathetic. And the people are choosing to become willfully ignorant. Now, obviously, it's not the people that come here. Although you get the stupid trolls that say stupid things, because they're stupid. And their comments here are extremely short-lived, because I'm not going to put up with stupidity. There is no justification for what is going on. And they're proud to throw rocks. You know how sad a life you must have if you get pleasure out of taking advantage of a situation by throwing rocks over the side of a bridge and cheering when you hit the windshield of a car and watch it skid to the side? Is that a proud moment that you might have killed a child, or a person, or a fellow human being? And Ilmencia says America's a joke now. The whole world is a joke now. It's not just one area. It's united we stand and divided we fall all around the world. The media is perpetrating all of this stuff. It's going to be more divide and conquer. How many times do I have to make videos trying to explain to the common, regular people out there who just would rather pay attention to what's going on in Hollywood and what's going on Facebook than actually care about what's going on, before they realize we're being suckered? I want to tell every one of my subscribers who care, go on every Facebook media for Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, post my video, and I will tell them straight to their faces that they are corrupt, they are disgusting, they are helping to perpetrate the destruction of this country, which will lead to the destruction of a lot of people around the world. This is not just one situation. Ugh. And somehow they're going to get politicians that are going to seize this opportunity. Both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are going to join in like they really give a damn about the common people. They want your vote. And, everybody thinks, for example, that Donald Trump is going to save everybody. Be careful when he builds that wall if he becomes president. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, walls do not only keep people out, they keep people in. There was a reason why they built a wall that separated Germany, East Berlin. Because people wanted to leave, and they were shot if they tried to leave. Do you think they were leaving because it was such a happy place? Or do you think they were leaving or trying to leave because they hated it there? People don't understand what's happening. And what angers me, and I'll get over my anger, because, see, here's the difference between my anger and these people in any riot. When I am angry, I take my anger and use words to turn it into something positive. What most people seem to do is when they're angry, they go and destroy public property, they go and steal public property, they take the pleasure in hurting others. And I am so tired of hearing, oh, well, there's not enough education, or the people don't know any better. People are responsible for knowing the difference between right and wrong. You don't need to be a brain surgeon or a rocket scientist to understand wrong is wrong. You just have to have a working brain and utilize it. And see, here's the difference. Like you could see here, I am angry. I will get past my anger, I will move on, and I will turn it into something positive. But you could see here, I am not justifying my anger by going to punch somebody by a different color or stealing or damaging somebody else's property to vent my frustration. That is ignorance. I am using my anger to create words that maybe inspire somebody else to do something better in this world. If you want to hurt somebody because of something that happened to someone else, it says more about your character and your intellectual ability. If you have to be sat down and explain that, okay, let's say the person that got shot was 100% in the wrong and it was unjustified what the cops did, to go and loot and throw rocks over the bridges and burn and steal public property that does not belong to you is not the way to mourn his death. There is no justification for it. And if you throw in the race card, you are part of the problem trying to create the separation and divide and conquer. So we can get more people to hate each other and focus on each other instead of the government and the media who is perpetrating all of this stuff, or at the very least, taking advantage of it so they can make more money off of our naivety. It's embarrassing how few people get this. And I will continue to be on the side of logic and the point of reason. And I need more people to give a damn. Because, ladies and gentlemen, around the world, if you stay silent, you allow evil to thrive. If we continue to allow mainstream media to propagate this bullshit, and our leaders to continually steal from us, and the stupid people in this world to speak for us with this, because look around the world. The media is going to see all of these ignorant people destroying things and say, look, this is the typical American. And I will tell you right now, that is not the typical American, at least as far as I'm concerned. Everything is a choice, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know right and wrong, then there's something wrong with you. You do not have to go to 50 years of college to understand that. You should learn that by the time you're able to communicate. And it's embarrassing the justification and the bullshit excuses people make to justify what they do. What did the people driving on that highway have to do with that murder, whether it was right or wrong? What do the people that work in Walmart have to do with that person being shot, right or wrong? So in other words, because if you are any kind of person that has been treated unfairly, that justifies you hurting others, stealing from others? Illuminati says, get to the point, please. Here's my point. If you don't like it, get the hell off my channel. There's my point. And I'm so tired of people saying that, oh, get to the point. I will speak the way I want to, and if you don't like it, don't listen. I don't want to hear stupidity. So I'll get to the point, and the point is the average person is choosing to be willfully ignorant. They are choosing to justify their wrongdoing because they don't know how to be intellectual and stand for things in the proper way. It's amazing to me how people just don't get it. Do people want World War III? Do people want to be imprisoned? Do people want to lose their freedoms, what little we have left? Because it seems like they do, because of stupid things like what's going on right now in North Carolina and plenty other places. I just don't understand it. What difference does it make what color somebody's skin is? Have we progressed that far back? Is it going to be to the point where there's going to be lynchings of all different races, where we have to hang people because of the different colors of their skin or the difference of their opinion? Because God forbid, if a person of a different color makes an opinion, then they're a racist. It's embarrassing, and it's just a way for somebody that chooses to be willfully ignorant can use as a way to justify what they do that is wrong. I'm beyond words. But again, I'm using my anger and my frustration to possibly turn it into something good. It's called turning lemons into lemonade. I'm not going to go out now because I'm frustrated at what certain people are doing, and I'm going to go out in the streets and destroy public property, stop people from traveling, their right to travel that had nothing to do with it. If you justify what's going on over there, I question your morality and your integrity. It's embarrassing, it's sad, and the people will get what they deserve. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to create more laws, this is going to create more anger, this is going to create more division, there's going to be more injuries, and people are not going to pay attention, and the government, the people in control are laughing their asses off at, look how stupid the people are. We can keep doing this stuff over and over again, and they fall for it every time. I honestly think the people that are really in control of things going on in this world, they must be sitting there dumbfounded, saying, we are not even hiding it anymore. The news has been caught lying, to the point where they even admit it themselves. The emails prove that from WikiLeaks, that the elections are rigged. That people like Hillary Clinton can get caught red-handed with all these things, having all their Blackberries smashed and all the evidence being held and FBI agents pleading the fifth, and yet they get away scot-free. And they make millions of dollars. They must be laughing. It's like, what do we have to take? What do we have to do to get the actual people to wake up and say, wait a minute, let me question this one. Okay, so Illuminesia, I'm going to say goodbye to you, because if you're just going to say stupid things, you're not going to be welcome here. So, America already looks stupid. Okay, if you think it's just the United States, then obviously you have no clue. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why we have the petrodollar and the reason why our currency is not on the gold standard is because there was an agreement throughout the world. Every single country on the planet does not have a gold-backed system. That means they agree upon these things. They will turn on the cameras and tell you how much they hate each other country and everything like that, but the leaders of each country are laughing at the fact that they're getting their citizens to die and fight for their cause so they can profit for your ignorance. If you think America's the only part of the problem, you have no clue. Do people forget the history of Europe and Asia and their world dominance, how they literally murdered millions of people? Anybody forget the Spanish Inquisitions and all the things that have happened in the name of crusades? Do people seem to forget that stuff? It's unbelievable. I don't understand how people can pinpoint. Do you not understand what the word divide and conquer is? It works to this moment. The level of stupidity. Because that's what it has to be. If you cannot understand simple basic concepts that to prove something wrong, You don't do it by murdering other people, burning products, stealing products, robbing from people, and throwing rocks over the side of a bridge. Ugh. Ladies and gentlemen, 777, this says, this anger is being misdirected. No, it's not. It's, quote, frustration, and I'm taking my anger and turning it into something positive. What other people are doing, it's more frustration. Because let me give you a perfect example of how anger is not always negative. If you were a parent and you had a 4-year-old child who's playing in the front of your property, and you told them, do not go out into the middle of the street, and then all of a sudden your phone rings, so you go and answer the phone, you look outside, you see your child in the middle of the street playing, about to be hit by a car, and you go rush out to save that child. Are you going to sit there and pat him on the back and say, oh, everything's okay? Or are you going to be mad and say, I told you not to go out in the street? You're saying it because you love. You're saying it out of frustration. You're saying it because you were scared. You were caught in the moment. And yeah, 777 saying, not my anger, the people's anger. You know what? If you're angry, do something to no longer be angry. By creating violence, by creating destruction, by creating theft, are you creating peace, prosperity, happiness? People are filling a black hole by saying, oh, I get joy. When those people, if you watch the videos, and I'm not going to post any links on this one, you could go search for it yourself. But there are people that are watching the whole thing, finding it utterly hysterical, like it's some kind of party, and they would throw rocks and whatever they were throwing over and hitting cars, and every time they hit one, they would cheer. That's what makes them happy? It's amazing that people don't get it. And this government is not the only one. Ladies and gentlemen, if you live on the planet Earth, guess what? Your leaders are just as corrupt. They just like to point the fingers in a certain direction, so you're not paying attention. And you vent your anger. Divide and conquer works more than just black and white, gay and straight, male or female. Every country is off the gold standard since 1971 because they all profit from it, because they can print money. Why do you think Japan is printing money? Why do you think Europe is printing money? Why do you think all of these countries around the world are printing quote-unquote money? It's because they profit off of it. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, every time they print more of this currency, it devalues it, which means you need more of it to make a purchase. So you have to work harder. And with all the laws that they restrict and everything, it makes it harder to get jobs. Because, ladies and gentlemen, people don't want to understand how the system works all around the world. Because if there is a place in the world where there are more wealthy people than there are poor people, and it's closer to a utopia than anywhere else, I'm still waiting for somebody to point that place out. I'll move there tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, the clock is ticking. You know, I don't preach the fear porn stuff because I don't want to be in that realm. And no matter what happens, I will be better than most people because I've been prepared for everything. But make no mistake, the average willful, ignorant moron out there is going to make our lives that much more difficult. Because nothing that is happening now is going to justify what could have been a legitimate reason for a cop to do what they did. And I said could be because I don't know, I wasn't there. But if there is a criminal, for example, that has a gun and it's pointing it at a cop and the cop feels like it's my life or his, they are justified. It doesn't make it right. But you know, there is always, for every action, there is a reaction. If you're stupid enough to pull out a gun, then you deserve to see whatever consequences could happen, whether it was intentional or by accident. And if that person was completely innocent and the cop was wrong, well, he should be punished for it correctly. Throwing rocks at passing by cars is not the way to justify it. Because if somebody dies over your entertainment, then how are you any different? And I don't want to hear the bullshit of, oh, it's justified because we as a society or we as a people have been scorned. Let me tell you something. I am a white male. Irish, English, and Italian. I'm living in poverty. I am trying so hard to get out of it. I am not living the white man's privilege. Let me tell you something, and it's a myth. Because if you look at how many people are on welfare in this country, over 1/3 of Americans are on welfare. 38.8% are white, 39.8% are African American. We are all in this together. We are all suffering. You want to keep bringing race into this? Continue to divide and conquer? They are laughing hysterically at all the people around the world, especially the ones that point to the United States and say, oh, they're the problem. Really? Is your country, wherever you're living, a utopia? Are your people being treated fairly wherever you live? When are people going to stop being hypocrites? It's embarrassing. And the sad part is very few people listen to this, or more than normal, because I'm actually raising my voice. It causes drama. Most people like drama. That's why they'll watch these riots and they'll sit there and they'll go say, you know what? We need to go there. I need to film it so I can get views on YouTube. What happened to integrity? We are not going forward as a species and as a society. We are going backwards. If you care, go to every mainstream media outlet, whether on YouTube, Facebook, or any of their social networks, and you leave comments telling them how full of crap they are. And if you want to post my video on it or somebody else's to justify it, that's fine. I'm not afraid. And you people better start losing your fear and doing things the right way. Violence begets violence. And how many times have I said on my videos, you cannot do this because it will not improve, and people will thumb it down and say, oh, you're wrong and it'll work. And where is it getting us any better? The definition of an insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So in a way, I must be insane too, because I keep thinking talking about the truth will actually waken the people enough to the point where they will care. So I must be insane as well. But the difference is my insanity is all about trying to help people from destroying themselves. So I'm fine with that. I'm fine with being judged by the ignorant trolls. I'm fine with being ignored, even though I'm trying to make a difference. Because at least I didn't give up, and you should not either. And Tales of Caliber is right. Chris, the majority of people follow the television, and it divides us a lot. Well, you know what? It's all a choice. This is the thing that people don't want to take their own responsibility for what they choose to do and what they choose not to do. There is always a consequence for your actions. Or your inactions. But these days we're taught, oh, it's not your fault, it's society's fault, or the color of your skin, that's why things are happening to you, or your poverty level. Don't feel bad about yourself. Well, the reason you're an alcoholic is because your grandmother was an alcoholic. Instead of saying, wait a minute, you have a choice to be able to change anything in your life because that would require responsibility. Most people don't want that because it's easier to point the finger. Because let me tell you something, from the age of 10 years old to the age of 26, I lived with a severe alcoholic. You know how many drinks I've had in the past 3 years? 0. Because one day I chose to no longer have that affect me anymore. I could have easily said, well, I'm an alcoholic because I lived with one. No, I take responsibility for my own choices and knowing what's the difference between right and wrong. But these days you're taught, oh, you're the victim. It's okay. You can justify what you do as long as it makes you feel good. No, take responsibility for what you do and what you don't do. That's why, like, I always preach about Spider-Man in the comics. The reason he became a superhero is because when he got his powers and he had the chance to stop a criminal that was robbing the very place that screwed him over, if he would have done the right thing and swallowed his own selfish pride and actually stopped the criminal from leaving that wrestling place that robbed the very people who tried to screw him out of money, well, that person wouldn't have killed his uncle. People have to take responsibility. That's why they say with great power comes great responsibility. You know, don't take away the great part. Everybody has power. And everybody has responsibility. People are always pointing fingers at everybody else and say, oh, this is happening because of this. Well, you know what? How many times have I told people, if you want to be free, close your bank accounts, get a federal credit union. Stop wasting your time on stocks and bonds and other paper assets that will make you temporary money now, which if it all of a sudden goes to shit, that money isn't going to be worth anything other than the paper it's printed on. I tell people to get your own businesses, get out of the system as much as you can, stay away from the mainstream media, and what do people say all the time? Oh, well, I can't do that, and it's too hard, and it takes too long, and I don't have this, and I can't do that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if all you do is spend your life making excuses, don't be surprised that nothing ever gets done. And I'm angry because the morons out there who are doing these stupid things are going to affect my way of life. to a certain extent. And it's affecting yours too. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 2 minutes to midnight. We're getting towards that moment that so many people are so afraid of because they're allowing it to happen. And I've said this so many times. If you have a pen near you, and if you hold it up in the air and say the destiny of this pen is if I let it go, it will drop to the ground. Well, if you let it go and just allow it to drop to the ground, that's exactly what happens. But if you let it go and catch it, then you stop the inevitable. It is all about participation. That's why they want you angry. That's why they're going to film all these riots and they're going to make people fight back and forth. They're going to get a bunch of paid idiots out there to justify it and say, oh, Black Lives Matter instead of all lives matter. And if you get angry at that, you're part of the problem. All lives matter. Since when does any one color, race, creed, anything, why is there anyone above or below? Have we not learned anything? Does anybody not know that two wrongs don't make a right? It's disgusting. And tomorrow, I will be fine. I will be prepared. I will be sitting back. I will be in observation mode, waiting for the stupid people to create the inevitable that I've been protecting myself for all of these years. And one day, I will be telling the trolls that insulted me and attacked me and the people that insulted and ignored me for years, ha ha, I told you so. And many of you will too. Because he who laughs last laughs best. And you know what? I really wish I'd never had to get to that point. Why do you think I've spent 5 years of being underappreciated, attacked, ridiculed, ignored, insulted, doing this? Do you think it's because it makes me feel good? Or maybe it's because it's the right thing, and I sacrifice some of my happiness to do the right thing, which goes so unrewarded. Do you have any idea how many comments I get on a daily basis with people, morons, that say things like, oh, get to the point, or oh, you talk too much, or oh, your video's too long, or oh, it's not fancy enough, or oh, the microphone isn't working as 99% of the way it's supposed to be. Instead of appreciating the fact that I give you freely my information and not make you have to buy a book, or not make you have to join another website, or purchase anything to get it. And I don't read off of a cue card, and I don't have an agenda. I'm just a person that's so tired of the lies, I will do everything in my dying days to make sure that people listen. And I need the help. I need you people to make your own videos. If you don't want to make yours, share mine. But we got to stop this. You got to go on the mainstream media channels and say, we're tired of your bullshit. You got to go to the president's website. Did you know, ladies and gentlemen, that the Federal Reserve now opened up a Facebook page? Go there and tell them how disappointed you are and how you know the scam. Speak up, because one day we will be silenced and you will not be able to say anything. So as much as I appreciate those who appreciate my words, if all you do is say you appreciate and you don't contribute in some way, you're allowing evil to thrive. Evil thrives when good men and women, despite their race, do nothing. It doesn't say evil persists when black men do nothing. It doesn't say evil persists when gay men do nothing. It is evil persists when good men and women do nothing. I'm tired of this. Aren't you? But we continue to allow it. We continue to say it's justified. We're afraid to say anything because you don't want to rock the boats. Wrong is wrong. I don't give a damn about the color of your skin. I don't give a damn about your sexual preference. I do not give a damn of who you get down on your knees for and worship. I give a damn about what you do that makes the world a better or a worse place. And people are so afraid to rock the boat because, God forbid, you have to make a little bit of a sacrifice. That's why most people don't want to be free, because to be truly free, you'd have to do everything on your own, and more people are so afraid of that. That's why you'll stick with a relationship you hate. You will stick to a job you can't stand. You will complain all the time, and you won't do a damn thing to make your life better, and you'll point fingers and blame society and everybody else instead of blaming yourself. Take some responsibility. Get angry, but instead of using that anger to destroy things like these ignoramus people are, and I don't know the color of their skin because the films that I saw are all in darkness, so I don't care. I'm sure it's a mixed variety of morons. But instead of using your anger the stupid way that they want you to do because they view you as talking monkeys, all people in this world, create something, invent something, help someone, create a better world. Don't be afraid of the consequences. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been talking about the corruption of the government since 2010. I shut off my own channel, Barnon 11967, back in 2012 because of idiot trolls that still to this day stalk me because they have no lives. But I've still continued, and you know what? I'm still here. I do not consent to them touching me. I do not consent to them trying to be responsible for my world. I don't need their welfare as much as I would love to have somebody taking care of me. I struggle on a daily basis, but I work and have my own struggling businesses to make sure I stay afloat because it's my responsibility. Take responsibility. Stop pointing fingers. Stop blaming everybody else for your unhappiness or your country's unhappiness. Because we are all going to succeed together or die together. Think of this world like being on the Titanic. I don't care what class of a person you are on that boat. I don't care what skin color you have. I don't care what you believe in. You're going to sink just as fast as everybody else. So you could sit on your first class ticket on the Titanic, looking down at all the little people, all the common people, and guess what? You're going to drown just as quickly as the person with no money in their pocket. So if you give a damn, you better wake up and start spreading this stuff. You got to stop the mainstream media from doing this. It's time to get angry, but use your anger for positive. Because if you need to get angry to change something into good, then that anger was there for a reason. Stop ignoring it. So that's all I'm going to say. This is the last thing I really want to talk about this ridiculous riot that's going on right now. The people in this riot, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Now that person died in vain because you feel the justification of throwing it into a party using Black Lives Matter as an excuse to rob, steal, and hurt other people. That is not a movement. That is a cowardly act so you can get some free stuff to feel better about yourself. And you still won't feel better about yourselves, and all you're doing is making this country hate each other more, which is going to create more crime, more murder, more anger, more division, more laws, more restrictions, and more stupidity. Stop feeding the wheel. This is Barn on 11970. Out.